morning, David.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to the First Friday Forum. We're really excited to have our guest, Ann Gannon, who is the Palm Beach County tax collector, and she's been active in Palm Beach County for many years. She actually served in the Florida legislature for 6 years, which I think is amazing. And she's got a big organization and a lot of responsibility. But what I love about her organization is they really foster community involvement by supporting people in need, and she's really worked hard on wellness initiatives within her own workplace and has received awards for that, which I think is amazing. So I'm not going to delay any longer. I'm just going to hand it over to Ann Gannon and say welcome. And we love to have you here today and can't wait to hear your presentation.
Oh, thanks. I'm really going to start with some history of our office. As you know, I got elected to this office in 2008, and I've been there 17 years. It's like you blink your eyes and it just kind of passes. But I was talking to our new state attorney, who, of course, is going to do some changes in her office. And she really asked me how long it took to make some visible changes that affected the community and your clients. And it really was about 5 or 6 years. And it was a real struggle, and it was troublesome at times because we really had a mentality and a culture that we didn't serve the public, that we were just there to do whatever. And it's taken us a long time to change that culture. And so I wish you luck. Oh, should we ask the dog's name? Just kidding. Anyhow, and then, as you know, our office in the last 5 years has actually built new offices throughout our county based on where the growth has been. We closed an office in Lake Worth. It was way too small for us and not able to serve the public. 4 months ago, we opened our PGA office. Before that, we opened an office in Westlake, which is the newest city in our county. And we have just announced that we've purchased 5 acres of property on Lyons Road, and we're opening a new office in Delray, potentially in 2.5 years it should be completed, which means the office that is on Congress will be moving out there so that we can add additional staff and the capability of serving the public better. Because if you look at what's going on in South County, the center of population is no longer east of 95. It happens to be west of 95. And that's really what we do, our heat maps before we determine where we're going to put a new office. And then we spent 3 years looking for property out there because, as you know, the ag area is undergoing a complete, I like to say, a renovation, because I'm not sure what it's going to be in 10 years out there. Hopefully we maintain some of the agricultural area and it doesn't become only housing, but we are online to open a new office on I think it's like 5.2 acres out off of Lyons Road. If you go out Atlantic, and when you hit Lyons, you go south, and it's down there about a third of a mile on 5 acres that we're going to build on. And the footprint of the office is the same as the other offices. We use the same architectural firm for all of these offices. What we've had to do is position the construction of the building just differently based on the size and how the land space is on the property. So we're excited. I think the public will be here. We've already started to message on it so that people understand in 2.5 years they don't go to Congress Avenue. And I think, as you all know, the city and the county have been discussing what to do with that property for 15 years and have had plans that have never come to fruition. And hopefully this will help them decide what is the best area to either put workforce housing or whatever it is they choose to do there, and that this would make them make it a little easier. And we have received some comments about people out in the Delray Alliance that are concerned about the traffic, but our traffic, we're actually have traffic studies that would show how many people would actually use that facility. But the best part about it is it's closed at 5 o'clock and there is no traffic that's incurred after 5 or on weekends. So our staff is really excited because they've been in this such a wonderful building over at Congress for a number of years, which, by the way, I found out used to be a church at one time that I did not know. It's part of the history of that piece of property. So our office is pretty excited, but I'd like to start a presentation and talk to you about some fun facts, the TCO servicing, the 2024 property tax season, which in the last 2 weeks, we've received over $3 billion in tax revenue in our office. It's pretty exciting to watch it come in and go through. We have what's called mail sorting machine in our office that sorts hundreds of pieces of mail per minute, and which has enabled us to deposit the funds that we receive much easier. And as all of you know, we are in the process of placing kiosks in public grocery stores so that you can just walk in and get your title and registration for your car. We have 10 of them operating in Palm Beach County now, and it's taken some of the traffic out of our office and allowed us to also transfer a lot of our online traffic. We have really increased that in the last 5 years since COVID. COVID really gave us an opportunity to sit and say, what do you want this office to look like in 5 years, and how do you want to serve your clients? And one of those ways we're doing that, of course, appointments are now required in our office. We do take emergency walk-ins for someone who's had their driver's license stolen or missing. We will take you immediately. Well, not immediately, but we will work you in our service that day so that you can get a new driver's license. Because as you know, in our country, you can't go anywhere without identification of some kind, whether it's a passport or a driver's license. And having had mine stolen 2 weeks ago, I understand the emergency that you feel to get a new one immediately. So we do accommodate that, but we do require appointments in our office, and we think that the public is well served by that, and the comments that we receive from the public are. So let's move on. Some fun facts. Last year, our Client Care and Research Center, which is really our call center, handled 238,000 calls. We have about 38 employees in that center. It's located in our Central Service Center on the second floor. We built that center to be able to enlarge and do have some empty space there that's being used to store, but we do have our call center. And I know for a number of years, there were always questions about why, especially during COVID, why people couldn't get answers to phone calls. Well, the real answer during COVID was we did not have enough employees. It took us about 6 months after COVID slowed down to be able to employ those additional employees to operate better service. And our wait times are so much better unless we're during the November to November, the month in November when property taxes, and everyone wants to call in and see if their property taxes have been received. And we get hundreds of those calls. We are in the process of looking at a system that it's very similar to what the Supervisor of Elections uses, that when that bill goes out, you will get a text message or an email that says the bill has gone out. And when you write the check or pay it, you will then get another email or text message telling you that your check has been received and it's been deposited. But that's probably not going to be until late next year. We've only just begun to talk about that, but that should help decrease phone calls also. Um, this year, our organization sent out 618,000 property tax bills. It's about $5.5 billion for the county. And keep in mind that the county does not get all that money. Everyone says, oh, they have too much money. It's the taxes represent every entity that's authorized to tax in Palm Beach County. Uh, that's a totality. And the county doesn't get all that money. Half of what the county actually gets goes to the sheriff. It's about 52% of the county's budget goes to the sheriff. So as if you look at Delray Beach's property taxes and how much goes to the sheriff and the firefighters, the fire department, I would suggest that probably it's about the same percentage or very close to it. About 50% of it goes to the fire and police departments. So when people think of the city collecting all that money, it's not all allocated to their funding sources in our county. So keep that in mind. And the total taxes for FP&L this year totaled more than $141 million, of which we just received on Friday. They send it to us in about $99 million, and then the additional because our bank can't take over $99 million. So it's kind of, we look for it along with the companies that service your mortgage. That comes in one lump sum also about quarter till 12 on the day where there is no 4% discount left. We moved to the 3%. So it's pretty interesting to watch, but it's really important because the statute requires us within so many days that money has to be sent to the special taxing districts in the county and the school board that we collect taxes on behalf of. It's like a payment system set up in the statute that we have to adhere to. So it's an interesting system and it's been around a long time. There are vacation rentals. There are 7,000 registered in Palm Beach County. That's hotels, motels, bed and breakfast, and private entities. And we would be glad to work with the city to actually look at how to increase people who are doing vacation rentals and not paying. And it's not the person who owns the property, it's a person who's renting that should be paying the fees, and it's 7% in our county to the county for vacation rentals. And it's pretty important because that money actually goes to the Sports Authority, art, all kinds of things in our county that are all focused on attracting tourism to our county, because as you all know, it's very important to do that because that is our economy, restaurants, sports, gardens, all of those issues. So we have actually tried to work with the city to work that whole issue and haven't been successful. So any of you who have a contact with the city commissioner, you might want to mention that to him. We would be glad to do that. We think that's critically important. We also, for fiscal year 2023, there were 77,000 clients who renewed their vehicle registration using one of the kiosks in our county. Our county has been very successful with this program. We don't get to actually designate where those kiosks go. We work with the kiosk company and they work with Publix to actually determine the high use stores, which is where we typically place them. So that's an issue that we would like more of, but we have to prove the need in our county. So we're working on that with them. And then so far, our staff has conducted 20,800 driver's license road tests. And that's critically important to your children, which are the biggest users of this. We've actually, our driving tests are designed by the Department of Motor Vehicles, but we've made some changes working with them about how we operate them to make them more easier for the public to use and easier for us to have our staff there to increase the number of these being done in our office because they're very it takes a lot of time to do one of these. So we're working on stuff like that. We're always looking at improving our services and decreasing the time that you have to come and spend in our office. This is kind of self-explanatory. But since COVID, we have decreased our wait times, doing that by a number of ways. If you look at the in-person wait times and the number of clients serviced daily, and that in-person wait time is really a result of appointments in our office so that we can clearly prove that the appointment system has really worked well for us. Online transactions, because of COVID, it was very difficult to market this to the public. They just did not want to do it. But now, since COVID, you see more and more people going to the internet. And we've also made a number of improvements in our payment systems on the internet to make it easier for the public. In fact, we've actually just we've just changed our website to make it easier to actually work with that website. So, and as you can see, our transactions pre-COVID in person, they've decreased by about 1,000 in our office. So it's been good for the public, which is always what we concentrate on. And for all of you who do come in our office or you contact our office, we actually distribute more than 40,000 customer service surveys to clients who visit one of our service centers in person or contact our office. We have, through our office, our phone system, we can track a phone call, we can listen to what was said, we use them as training to improve the skills of our employees. So it's kind of funny some days, and I'm sure you've all experienced this in your business, that a client will tell you what's said and then you listen to what was really said, and the difference is tremendous, particularly a client who doesn't feel like they got the service that they want. So it's interesting to do that. And for those of you who don't know it, before we hire an employee or they come in and fill out an application, there's a test that we give them. And we've created the criteria for that test. And it's really, that person has to be focused on customer service, or there are 3 components to the test. But the number one component is, do you have the mentality and ability to focus on customer service? Because if you don't, you really shouldn't be in this kind of business, because it's very stressful dealing with the public. But our employees do a great job. But our exceptional service is typically about 57.8 for 2023. And that's our goal, is exceptional. So, and I will tell you, this is like a retail business. If you talk to other retailers, they get nowhere near the ratings that we get. So we like to think we've done something right, but I will say that there are some times that we don't. But I actually brought we get people who do these surveys on Google too, and I brought some today because I'd really like to share some of it with you, because some of it is really funny, their comments and stuff. And the lack of education that people have about their driver's license and their title and registration we've lost the ability for the public to read and understand sometimes. They just don't think it's their responsibility to understand these two issues in their life. So we do have some challenges with that. Um, but I think our office has done very well with this once we figured out where we were going and how we could get there. And we talked about by reservation. These are really the lead times for a driver's license road test. And people don't pay attention to this, and then they get angry when they can't get in our office to actually get their driver's license, that they forgot their birthday came up. And a lot of people think that it's the month of your birthday. It's not. It's midnight of your birthday that you have to have renewed it, or it becomes delinquent, and then you have to pay an additional fee. And you also could get, if you get picked up for speeding or whatever, you can also get an additional, you'll get a fine to pay because of that. It's critically important when you receive that notice in the mail, and it's typically 90 days ahead of your birthday, that you pay attention and not wait till the last minute to make the appointment, because as you can see, it's difficult for a driver's license road test or a written test. That's the lead time in our office. Although we will tell you that 30% of our appointments cancel every day. So there is an ability for you to watch that and make an appointment the same day and go in. So all is not lost. You just have to pay attention. And it's kind of hard sometimes. And then all of you know how property taxes are calculated. It's the value of the property, which the property appraiser certifies the tax roll. They assess your property, and they don't do it every year, but they do it, and they don't do everyone in your neighborhood, because they take samples of people who have sold or a purchase of a home, and look at that and see what the price, and then they subtract the exemptions. And the number of exemptions, there are 2 homestead exemptions. There's now an exemption based on another exemption that passed this year. We haven't implemented it yet. And you subtract all of those. There could be a widow's exemption, a veteran's exemption. There's really not much, and they don't make much of a impact on your tax bill. Like I have a widow's exemption, and it means about maybe $100. So it's not really that much. They're not really giving you anything, and that would equal the taxable value times the millage rates. The millage rates are what the city sets, the school board sets, the county sets, all of those things. And then that's called your ad valorem tax rate, or property taxes. And then you would subtract the non-ads, which would be special taxing districts. Those are not set by millage rate. They're set at their budget hearings every year. And that's your annual taxes. There is an opportunity for, as everyone knows, for you to challenge that. And the opportunity exists. I believe it's August 15th, and 30 days out, you can actually file a challenge to it. But it's not like you just file a challenge and say, I don't like my tax rate, it's too high. That's not how it works. You have to actually provide information about why you think it is, and look at the tax rates of the other people in your community. So it's not an easy process, and it's not very successful, because the property tax office, the PA, they're pretty good at what they do with setting assessment rates. So the other option that we have, and I think you all know that the tax season begins November 1st and ends March 31st. And you get a 4%, 3%, 2%, and 1%. And beginning after April 1st, your taxes are delinquent, and you have an opportunity to actually pay them between April and May. In June, they become delinquent. you would have to pay additional fees and fines. And then June the 1st, we actually sell your taxes at what's called a tax certificate sale. And there are multinational corporations that bid on these taxes. And depending on when the owner redeems them, that this is an investment for people. My suggestion is, unless you understand the process fully, do not get involved in this. We have had people who have lost money based on their lack of knowledge about the system and how it works. But the multinational corporations, and then there are a few local investors here in Florida, but most of them are big corporations. And then we offer an installment payment plan. I'm on the payment plan, and I just paid my taxes, the third payment for this year. It's four payments that you pay. We actually have marketed this to older people and people communities that have low income people, because we think it's a better way to pay your taxes, and it will ensure that you get them paid rather than go to a tax certificate sale. I will say that this year we had two homesteaded properties, and we watch it very closely in our office that were transferring. They did not pay their taxes, and they were transferring to the clerk's office to be sold in an auction. We actually went out and found these people. One of them, well, both of them had dementia, and we found their families so that those taxes could be paid and they would not lose their home. And the family has now figured out a different way to monitor it so that those folks don't lose their home. And they weren't valuable properties, but just imagine a person who's 82 years old losing a home and becoming homeless. So we watch that closely, but we work with the city of Belgrade on a couple of them. We actually called the mayor, and he's the one who went and found the people. So please, if you know of someone who's struggling, let us help them get on the payment plan. We did have a woman up here in Lake Ida, between the piece, and it didn't used to be called Lake Ida, but it is now, between Seacrest and Swinton, who could not pay. And we worked with her and the Department of Revenue to figure out a way to keep her from losing her home. And then her kids got involved to help her. She had lost her job because she was sick. So we try and keep our eye out for those things, but I'm sure we miss some of them. So if you all hear of anything that we could help with, we would be glad to try and do that. And as I said, this payment plan, the enrollment, because people either didn't want to come in our office or whatever, increased about 378%. And the payments are due in June, July, September, and December. And there's about 34,000. But it's a good program. And, if you know of someone that you think should take advantage of this, let us know and we'll talk to them. And then our top 5 taxpayers is FP&L, which no one can understand why until you look in your community and see all of the equipment and the power grids and all of the power stuff in our neighborhoods. So it makes sense if you understand. In Town Center at Boca Raton, the Boca Owner LLC, which is the Boca Raton Hotel, and the Breakers and Gardens Venture Mall. So those are our top taxpayers, and they're good citizens. Most of them really participate in our community a lot. So we're lucky to have them. And then our tourist development tax is challenging, but as we've gotten more inroads in the community and people that tell us what's going on, and I've gotten better trained staff, we have increased. We located someone who hadn't paid their tourist development tax for a long time, and it was almost $700,000, and they have now paid their tourist development tax. Um, but as you can see, it's about the total collected last year or this year was $86 million. That's huge for our tourism industry and the advertisements. And and as I said, this is one fee that goes back into our communities. It's not like Delray gets it, but it's as the county because that's the way the statute is written. But during COVID, you can see what happened to it, and now it's gone back up, and we are benefiting greatly from the communities that allow this. There are some that don't. Okay, and short-term rentals, it's kind of confusing, but it's it's anyone who rents for 6 months or less is considered short-term. And there's a definition of it, as you can see below. Any property that has a homestead exemption that is rented for more than 30 days per calendar year for 2 consecutive years, or that is rented for more than 6 months, loses their homestead exemption. And we do have, we work very closely with the property or the property appraiser who has the authority to remove their homestead exemption. And she is really, her program works very well. And there have been a number of homestead exemptions removed because of the violation of this piece of the ordinance. You must have a business tax receipt, which is $33 for a full year and $16.50. The agent or a property manager can manage multiple properties, and we do have that going on. As all of you know, we had a short-term rental bill last session, which I worked very hard to get the governor to veto it because it took away our local power, and it's not what we need to be doing in Florida, is taking away local government's power to be able to regulate, put some kinds of regulations in place that benefits our communities. The one issue that I'm working on with the Florida Hotel and Restaurant Association is that we have to find a way to get, and we think we've come up with using the property control number in counties across Florida to use as a common registration, because now each county uses a different kind of registration. And if we had a common one, then the Department of Revenue, we could actually identify on a statewide level how many of these were in Florida, because even though it's someone's property and they're right, this whole issue is affecting affordable housing in our state. And it's hugely affecting affordable housing. So if we could ever get a handle on just how many we really had, then we could move forward with looking at what we can do for this affordable housing issue, because it's not. And I know that I'm trying to think of one of the homeless coalitions wanted to know if they could. Oh, I know, the people who build houses for folks. They wanted to know how we could reduce the taxes for the folks, because they can build the house and they have a payment on the house, then they have the tax base that they have to pay, and they have insurance and they can't pay all three. They struggle with that tax, and came to us and said, would you support that? And I said, no, I wouldn't, because then you're spreading the taxes that should be paid by everyone to only people that haven't benefited from receiving a house that has been, the land and the house that have been purchased. And it's really kind of unfair for the rest of the community to shift the tax burden to everyone else. So they're still looking for a solution to this, but I'm not sure there is one, a solution to it. And here's where our new center is going, out off Lyons Road, so you can see it. And our accomplishments this year to date, we launched a new website, which I think is much easier to use And most of the ideas from it actually came from our clients, people that had a question about it or it didn't work the way we thought it did, and the customer interpreted it differently. So we look at all those things. Um, we simplified our menus for enhanced navigation, redesigned and optimized for mobile, improved robust search functionality, and comprehensive content update, which we do all the time, um, based on the changes in statute or administrative law. And then we enhance the accessibility widget to assist users with a customizable web experience that fits their needs. Whatever that means, guys, I don't know. I haven't got around to using that. And then we have our accomplishments to date. And we just won, the county does, well, actually the clerk's office has created, and they've done it for like 27 years. At Christmas, we do a competition, and we created a house, and our employees stuff it with dollar bills and money. And there's a charity like this. The charity this year is Toys for Tots, but we won the design award. This is like the fourth time we've won. So we're so excited. Yesterday, during the contest, the finance and budget team was awarded a certificate of merit for audit by the Florida Tax Collectors Association. And our CNMG, which is our communications team, was honored with 6 national and local awards of excellence for our Welcome Home, Welcome Guide signature publication. And then we increased client care and research center staff to 34 client care reps, reduced our hold time by more than 5 minutes, which is really good. And then we process more than 3,000 client advocate inquiries per month. And client advocate inquiries are any email that someone's come to our website and they don't understand or they need help. Our communications team and the call center does those. And this is just a little top 5 call reasons: driver's license, Florida ID, property tax, vehicle registration, service center reservations, and titles. And titles are the most troublesome is the transferring a car out of state to Florida, because out of state is mostly a bill of sale state and we're a title state. So you have to do a little bit extra work for that. And delivering on our commitment to exceptional service this next year. You can go through this. We talked about our new service center, which would to plan and begin building it. And we're getting a new HR director. She's retiring after 27 years. We're all crying. And a new comprehensive CRM to manage client advocate inquiries. And I don't know if all of you are aware of what a CRM, but for most businesses, a lot of larger ones, they have this client resource management system. It's going to take us 2 years to do this. It's pretty exciting. It means that if Stephanie calls and asks a question and then calls 2 days later, there's a record of all your questions and your comments so that we actually can help you. It will increase our ability to assist clients. So engage with the state of Florida and vendor to stabilize their software systems. Many times people come in our office and we have to tell them the website is down. The Department of Motor Vehicles, they're in the process of upgrading their systems. But what that does is it causes chaos in our office, because not only do you have to cancel appointments, and we have an inability to serve that client if they need a driver's license or whatever. We have to reschedule all of that. Continue to enhance and promote online services to reduce the demand for in-person service, which in the end will also should reduce our employees, hopefully. unless the county keeps building in the western part of our community. For every house they build, we get 2.3 people in our office twice a year. So it all works into increased cost and promote additional kiosks throughout this Palm Beach County. And then we'll have to work on our journey to good health initiative for our employees again. Does anybody have any questions? And how you can reach us? It's pretty easy.
It is easy to reach you guys. I'm so impressed with all the improvements and the ways that you try to reach out to people. The Publix kiosk, I didn't know that existed, but you're really making things so much easier for everyone in the public who has to deal with your department. I think it's amazing the steps you've taken to simplify things for people. That's great. And I love stuff.
Yes, I know. We have more coming.
I want to jump in there and second Stephanie's. I mean, I have no questions because your presentation was so great and thorough, Ann. And for those people who were not here before Ann took office, it was a mess. The tax collector office, you couldn't reach by phone. Maybe if you waited 3 or 4 hours or days, you may get through. The lines were out the door. It was a total, utter mess. Ann has cleared that up. And how many years has it been, Ann? I mean, it's just been amazing.
17 years.
It's been amazing. So kudos to you, Ann. You've done a great job. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for Ann while she's here?
No.
Okay. Thank you so much. It's super interesting, and you do such a great job for us. And we're so happy to have you local. You're right in Delray Beach if we ever need anything. So thank you, Ann, for being so responsive to anything that we have over here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Definitely can't let Ann go without one comment. So
of course, Michael.
I had a client who came to Palm Beach County and was getting used to paying his taxes and wanted to know who the sheriff of Nottingham was. So I had to explain to him that the tax collector doesn't come out and take your bag of money from you. He was from Eastern Europe, so I guess there was an explanation for it. But I can tell you that you've improved the whole administration so greatly. One last thing. What does the county do with the information? Do you get a lot of requests from outsiders to buy your information? Has the county fronted that at all?
No, it's actually not the county who takes care of us. We're a separate constitutional office with our own powers. The only information that we sell is business receipts tax. That's it. You can't get our property tax information. You can't get DMV because it's exempt from public records.
That's a great policy. Appreciate all that you do and look forward to your new offices. I'll go back to mute.
Okay. Thank you again, Ann. So
you're welcome.
So David, I'm going to hand it over to you to call on our partners.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. Good morning, everybody. Let's start in Washington. Felicia Goldstein, Congresswoman Frankel's office. Are you still on?
Yep, I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Happy holidays. Happy holiday season. Just very quickly, obviously, thank you to everyone here who casted a vote for the Congresswoman to remain in Washington. And if you did not, we are still here to service you and do our best. We will help anyone with any problems regarding any of the federal agencies. Our office is in West Delray, right on Atlantic, up the second floor of the Flagstar Bank on Hagen Ranch in Atlantic. So if you need anything, you could stop in 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or give us a call. I put everything in the chat. The Congresswoman is looking forward to a robust session. And she remains on the Appropriations Committee. And we believe she will be the ranking member of SHOPS on the Appropriations Committee.
What's that?
Funds all countries. other countries and nations.
Oh, okay.
Funding that goes, yeah. So it's interesting, and she's been on that. And if it goes as we hear it will, the chairperson will be Mario Diaz-Balart, who's a good friend to the Congresswoman. They served in the State House together. They have a great working relationship. And so we expect to be able to do some important work there. And she will continue to fight for the things that are important to her: Social Security, Medicare, families, women's reproductive rights, and making sure that the quality of life here is as best as it can be here in Florida for everyone. And everyone has opportunities to continue to grow. So we look forward to being here for the next 2 years and hopefully the next 2 after that. But thank you for everything you guys do. And was at the tree lighting the other day with my granddaughter, and it was quite a hit and quite crowded. So congrats. Love seeing the big crowds here for Delray. It's nice. And have a great season. Thank you.
Thank you, Felicia. Any questions for the Congresswoman's office? Okay, let's go down to the city. Jeff Forrest, are you still with us? No? Yeah, you are. I see you. Well, let's pass you by then. Gustav Weibel of Discover the Palm Beaches. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, the November was a really good month for hotels. So it's the preliminary results right here live. It's 13% up in room nights sold across the county. The ADR was up almost 2%. Overall hotel revenue up 14%. We had eudaimonia at the beginning of the month. Over the election, we had Trump at the convention center. We had a lot of other groups and activities over the month. Probably 30 plus groups that we personally as an organization helped get into the market, and also the later Thanksgiving. So great month. I want to also plug the tourism master plan. So we're well underway on that. I've probably spoken a lot about that. We have a website called pbctourismplan.com. We are in the process of putting on a slew of surveys on there. There's about 27 different surveys that are very targeted in different industries. So agritourism, beaches, boating, culinary, golf, a lot of different things. So we encourage everyone, once we get in there, we're going to send a message out. Take as many of those surveys as possible. Anything that you're interested in, we want your feedback on that. This is sort of the last call of getting all the information in the community that we're going to build, the roadmap for tourism in the next 10 to 20 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Steph. Jeff, I see you reappeared and
yes,
ready to go, I hope.
There.
Assistant City Manager.
Couple things going on here. In lieu of parking is going back to the City Commission next week, the December 10th meeting. That's the second reading of the ordinance, and will also include a resolution about fees. Right now, there are no fees contained in the resolution. It's going to be left to the commission to decide exactly what those are at the meeting. I can also tell you that our Economic Development Division has been working hard with the Chamber as well as the DDA on a hospitality job fair that'll be held January 8th. So we're doing our best to help some of the restaurants and hotels and such find some employees right at the height of season, where I understand most of them have said, hey, people keep leaving, so we need people all the time. So we're doing our best to get into that. You may have also seen wayfinding signs going up around the city. There's a couple of hiccups with that, but we're certainly moving ahead with it. There's some of those signs you may find are placed in odd places. Many of those are dictated by what's underground, as well as where DOT will allow us to place things. So I know Public Works is working on some of those things we all find a little unusual with those signs, including, you see the top of many of the signs are dark black letters. So we're working on a slight background on those, so those letters will pop and not be invisible. So hang in there with us through that one. Don't think we're completely incompetent. We don't know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We've got some issues we've got to address, and we're working on those. I can also tell you the city is going to receive the final results of its disparity study We have a workshop. I believe we're going to be having that in February. We'll also do one more public meeting to explain to the public what the disparity study is all about, what it does, what it doesn't do, what its possible results will be, and the options that might be available to the commission at that time. I will certainly inform Stephanie of when that's going to happen. We'll be working with the CRA on scheduling that public meeting. I think the last thing I really want to bring up is the city adopted an opioid litigation settlement funds policy. And part of that was allocating some funds to distribute Narcan and in a cabinet to be installed for our businesses, which will be free of charge to the businesses. We're going to try to start with the restaurants in the downtown area and then see how far the dollars we have available go to do that. Again, it'll be a voluntary program on behalf of the restaurants. Certainly might help them out with some of their liability issues because unfortunately people do have a tendency to overdose and hide in their bathrooms and other places in the restaurants. So we're going to do what we can to help out our local restaurants. And I see Chief Frankel here with us, and I certainly want to thank the fire department, police department for helping identify that as one of our needs in the city. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you, Jeff. So since you mentioned Chief Franco, let's go right to him. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning. Good morning, and thank you for having me. Just a couple things from the fire department to kind of add to. Obviously, the fire department, we're under new leadership. We have a new fire chief. He's about 60 days, more or less, in office here, and we're, ensuring that things we do are in keeping with his direction and his vision that he has for the fire department in the future, which is one of, more transparency with the public, more interaction with the public, and better service to our residents, our visitors, and our business owners in the city. So I think as his time here progresses, we'll see some more changes on how we operate, and hopefully it'll be a positive direction for everyone. Just a couple of notes from us. To piggyback on what Mr. Orr said, the Narcan for the restaurants and things like that would also be in the box. The metal box would be for ADs as well, and it would all be together in there, just like that. And the fire department, if you have one or you have a desire for one, please do not hesitate to reach out to the fire department. We're more than happy to send some representatives out there, even if it's just a Q&A. If you have questions about what it all is about, what it entails, and things like that, we're more than happy to help in any way, shape, or form. We're there to be your resource. Couple other things too, just keep in mind, the holiday season does present a couple of unique challenges as it pertains to fire safety, especially with decor that you may have in your businesses or your homes. And on our city website, we do have some informational flyers that are posted that can give you some information that you may need or want on those matters. And like anything else, if you have any other questions on anything, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. And I wish everybody a nice, happy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for the fire department? Okay, let's go to CRA and Renee. Good morning, Renee.
Hi, everyone.
Can't hear you.
Oh, hello? No?
Yeah. Can you make it louder?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Better? Okay. I'll just have to yell. Okay. Hi. Okay, so we have a few updates. We have 2 requests for qualifications out right now that are really important. One is for the Northwest 800 block. That's the shipping container modular development that's available on our website. We also have a request for qualifications out for brokers or real estate agents that can help us seek out medical services or facilities, pharmacies, banks, or supermarkets. This is all for our West Atlantic, looking at CRA properties and how we can develop them. So what we're trying to do is find people, brokers that have connections with these industries, that we could show them all of our properties and basically get an idea if they have any connections with people who may be interested in some of our properties. So really 2 important RFQs that are on our website. Also tonight is First Friday Art Walk, so we are participating in that with the downtown area. So please visit Arts Warehouse from 6 to 9 tonight and check out the artists and what they have going on for the holiday season. Every holiday season, we've been featuring the artists that are the Arts Warehouse in our main gallery space. So you can see them showcasing their art and actually go into their studios and chat with them about the art they have in the front gallery. Also, tomorrow is the Green Market. We still have that going on. We're working on the SNAP program. So if you know anyone who receives the SNAP food stamps or participates in that program, please tell them to come out to the Green Market. It's a really great opportunity to get fresh fruits and vegetables for everyone really, and those who really need it. The accessibility is right there. Also, just a reminder, the CRA workspace is still open every Tuesday. That's 98 Northwest 5th Avenue. We had a great CRA social there last night. Stephanie was there. Thank you for coming by. I think we had probably well over 60 plus people throughout, maybe even closer to 80 throughout. Really exciting. We got to talk about accessory dwelling units. That was the topic of last night, to see some new exciting progress that we're making on that in bringing accessory dwelling units to the set neighborhood, hopefully in the next coming years. Also for board meetings, our next board meeting is January 28th. We will probably not have another one through the end of the year. So we will see you next year, and happy holidays, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, Renee. Let's go to Kent Edwards from the City Sustainability Office.
Morning, everybody. Happy holidays. Great presentation. Really good to hear about what's going on with the taxes and property values. I know I look around my neighborhood and see some things. So want to mention Climate and Conversations this evening at Arts Warehouse. It is the second in this series that we hope to continue every couple of months or so. And we're going to be unveiling the new logo for the Climate Action Plan. You may recall we had Climate Action Planning Survey. We got results presented to the Commission November 19th, and there was direction to proceed with development of that plan. And so we put together, Chris, along with Ditmar from the PIO office, we designed a logo, going to unveil that and start gathering comment from the community and meeting with internal staff to get strategies that we will then pursue within the next 6 months to a year. So please come down, look at Arts Warehouse. There's always something great there, and drop by and talk with us. And tomorrow we have a tree giveaway during the green market. Community greening will be there, and as always, there will be a variety of native and fruit trees. Also next week, I'm making a presentation to Commission on the tree planting program status. And on December 16th, I'll be making a presentation at the Regional Climate Compact on the tree drop-off program, which is one that we designed with community greening, and that I think a lot of other cities are going to pick up on. So lots going on. And if you have any questions, please reach out.
Thank you, Kent. Let's go to Charles Duval from Career Source. You want to give a report today, Charles?
Hi, good morning, everybody, and thank you for having me. I'm here to cover for Michael Corbett, but I just want to give you guys an update on our local unemployment numbers. So overall, Palm Beach County continues to remain in great shape. We actually have an unemployment of about 3.5% for October of 2024, just this past October. And for several years, we have matched or beaten the state's unemployment rate. So we remain at about the same pace with the state of Florida's overall unemployment rate being at 3.5%. So we're doing very well. In our area, the West Palm Beach, Boca, Delray metropolitan area, we've seen the biggest increases in jobs in government at 4.3%, in construction, education and health care services, and also leisure and hospitality. And as evidenced by the upcoming job fair that Career Source is putting on with the city in hospitality, you can see why. People are hiring, the hospitality industry is hiring, and we're right there to serve our clients and our community and assist them in getting those jobs. Ultimately, we have more than 3,300 jobs as an increase in education over last year, and over 2,600 in construction, and 1,800 in trade, transportation, and utilities. So overall, Palm Beach County is doing very well. A few select industries are also doing very well in our area, and Career Source Palm Beach County's role remains to connect business with talent and help our clients get jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Good work. Let's go now to Ashley Ridley from the Drug Abuse Foundation, and also you're involved with the Millennials Table. So could you give us some background on what's going on?
Absolutely. Good morning, everybody. I've been given the position of being a director of prevention, outreach, and community relations for the Drug Abuse Foundation. And so I'll share with you our mission, some of our premier services that we offer here, and how you could help us. So our mission here is to encourage and support the process of recovery from chemical addiction, promote drug-free living and mental well-being. The signature programs that we have here that I'm hoping that we can get more people here, specifically from Delray Beach, is that we offer residential stabilization treatment, residential relapse treatment, outpatient treatment, and recovery services. As far as how we could partner better with the city, as far as the fire department and police department, we do actually have a detox receiving center here that is open 24/7. You don't require appointment. You could just drop them off. We take people regardless of payment. We do take Medicaid, we do take insurance, but if people cannot pay, that is not an excuse for dropping them here or allowing them to come here to receive the treatment services that they need. We do accept donations as well. We like to have gently used clothes for men and women. We have a moms and babies program here. So we take pregnant women as well as postpartum women. And so things for babies, things for pregnant moms. If you have any of those things, please look to us. And we have a receiving center here that's open from 8:30 till 6 p.m. that you could just come and drop these things off to the facility, which would be great. Another thing we're hoping to do is to invite you guys here to the center. From my understanding, we have this big black gate that may seem very intimidating, but don't let that be a deterrent. We do offer tours here. I'm hoping to invite as many guests to have a breakfast or a lunch so you can get to know the facility, visit the facility to see the great things and the great programs that we have to offer. Right, so I discussed the fees. So insurance is not necessary to get treatment. And as far as like on my more personal and passion, I came back to Florida about 2 years ago and started coming to meetings like this and noticed that there weren't enough people that were my age that were engaged in community activities, citywide, countywide. So I thought of something called Millennials Table. And I'll just share with you our mission really quickly. And our Millennial Table is a network of young professionals, organizers, and innovators who connect and collaborate to foster inclusive urban development by empowering communities, preserving local culture, and bridging socioeconomic gaps. Our vision is to create a better everyday life where millennials and a new generation can reimagine their future. Our pillars are health, economics, education, restorative, and policy. And so we've been coming together for about a year, just meeting twice a month. We've just established a leadership team that we're hoping that will help guide our mission and get us out here. I'm really excited that you know about it, Stephanie. We're still a relatively young group, but very engaged, looking to position ourselves in a way that we can, I'm not sure if you heard of the elders table, but put ourselves in a position that when our elders aren't here, that we can be the new, the new guard or the new young people that can come and make sure that our community, which is the set neighborhood that Renee talked about today, how they're bringing pharmacies and grocery stores, because unfortunately in our set neighborhood we don't have these things. And so I lived in California, I've lived all over, and so these things are important to me. And so we're hoping to be a part of a group of people that make sure and ensure that we're able to enjoy the same luxuries that people get to enjoy. I would say in our downtown area can also become business people and be a part of this, billion-dollar economic growth that's going on in Palm Beach County. We want to be a part of that too. I hope I explained who we are, and thank you so much for allowing me to speak today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for coming. And it's a great idea. We wish you a lot of success. Please keep us involved and come to meetings like this in the chamber. Stephanie, it leaves us to you.
Okay, I'll wrap it up.
Wrap up.
Yes, I'll wrap it up quick. Excellent meeting for the last meeting of the year. So great to see everyone. What we have coming up on January 10th, it'll be the second Friday, is an in-depth presentation by the CRA. And Christine Tibbs, the assistant director, will be with us. Renee's going to be out of town, but we can't wait to hear more about all of the incredible things that the CRA is doing. So we'll get the full presentation for them on January 10th. On February 7th, we're hoping to have Lieutenant Gary Ferreri from the police department do an overview and an update on their real-time crime system. And on March 7th, we'll get an in-depth update from Laura Simon at the DDA about what's going on there and with Old School Square. And 2025 is going to be Year of the Small Business. We got together yesterday with the DDA, the CRA and Arts Warehouse, the City Economic Development Manager, and the SBDC. The whole year of 2025, we're going to be supporting each other and amplifying each other's messages about the resources and programs and events we have geared towards small businesses. So you'll be hearing more about that in the new year. And that's it. Everyone, have a wonderful, happy holiday season. We'll see you on January 10th, if not before. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. Bye.